Hello guys, welcome to my tier list of Town of Salem roles. Today I just bit my tongue, so it kind of hurts. I probably should have waited to record. We're going to be ranking them. So Ambusher is pretty cool. It's not the most useless Mafia role. It's just hard to get when you first get Coven, because you're like, why am I not killing the person I visit even though it says I kill people? But once you actually get the role and you know how to use it, it's actually pretty useful. It's just a pretty plain role. It's like, once you get it, like, you're expecting it to be so much more, and then you only kill like 2 or 3 people in the game and nothing else. Amnesiac's pretty cool. You can choose your teams. You can make people think that you're Survivor. It's just you can die really easily, and then that game tends to be trash. And then people already know that you're like evil when you're like remember something as an amnesiac, like you remember serial killer, and people are like, oh crap. And there's an investigator that's like, oh, you showed up as this. So I'm gonna put him in the B. Arsonist is like a C. It's not the worst role ever. Actually, I'm gonna put them in the D. I really don't like playing as Arsonist. Usually you end up being found, or something incredibly stupid happens by the time you win. I think Arsonist might be my least win role in Town of Salem, actually. Ever. Blackmailer. Once people find out there's a blackmailer, then you're basically screwed, because you can't claim spy or jailer and guardian angel if you get investigated. And as blackmailer, the best claim that you can usually have is like sheriff or tracker, due to the facts that you don't get much information unless if you have a concussire. But if there's a spy, then the concussires and consort will be proven. Bodyguard is pretty cool. I mean, a lot of people would disagree, but you're actually very useful to town. Like, if you're in ranked practice, then you can be on the jailer, and then you can save the whole game. And once you're used, then you're basically done. But until then, it's really hard to win. Like, if an investigator finds you, you're most likely either going to be put up for the chalk and black, or you will be hung. But I mean, if they can look past that, and if you get checked by a sheriff, even though, actually, no, that won't work. Well, you get what I'm saying. You're pretty useful. It's just kind of a hard road, which makes the game funner. Concussire, I'm also going to put in the A tier. It's pretty cool. You're quite useful. I just like knowing people's roles and seeing how they play. Concussire is also a very good role for people that are just learning how to play toss, because you get to see how people play when their roles. And it's pretty easy to understand when you start playing toss. You just say, hey, I'm looking at what this person's role is, and I'm evil. And that's basically it. Another thing about Concussire, why I believe it's amazing, is because, well, I don't know, I just really like playing as it. Consort is escort rates, B. I'll give it a B minus, but, you know. Yeah. So Consort's pretty boring. But you're quite useful to evils and town. I guess you can, like, if you like Roblox, not a serial killer, you'll die, like a potion master that's confirmed or something. Though you can really screw people over sometimes, or screw anybody over. I mean, escort can't do it as well as consort, I would say, because people know what you're doing when you're escort. Because usually escorts tend to be very vocal about, well, once they came out, they tend to be very vocal about who they robbed and when and why. Consorts can't be like that, because if there's a spy, like in ranked practice or in regular even, then you're screwed. Coven leader. Coven leader's pretty cool. I'm gonna give it an S tier. My one complaint with Coven leader is, you know that feeling when you die night one, and you're like, what the heck? I was so excited to play Coven leader. And also, it's one of those roles that you have to have the right town to do it with. I mean, usually my favorite coven is like Potion Master, Necromancer, and a coven leader, and maybe a Medusa. But at least those three is usually what I like. If not, then it's Potion Master, Coven Leader, / Necromancer, Potion Master. Potion Master is a very useful role. It's just because they can heal you in case you get hurt or something. Poisoner's worst role, even Hexmaster. I'm not gonna lie, I hate Poisoner over Hexmaster. Fight me. Crusader is pretty cool to play as. I mean, sometimes you kill townies, which is the bad thing, but at least you actually are useful. I would say you're more useful than Bodyguard, but my one complaint with Crusaders, yeah, you kill town. Disguiser, bleh, we don't even need to talk about that. Doctor, I'm gonna give them a C grade. I think they're my most one role, which is funny, because I don't like Doctor. I mean, it's fine, but if you find a Bodyguard Doctor mix, then you're basically set for the game, or a Crusader Doctor mix, then you're basically set for the game. But that very rarely happens. I've been in one of those, actually, where Bodyguard is on Doctor, Doctor is on Bodyguard. You're basically unstoppable, unless if there's like 3 Mafia, or like 4, and they hang you. So, Escort, A. The difference between Escort and Consort, as I said, is the spy thing, how spies are against you, and you share Framer can see you, but when you're an Escort, usually you know that you're not going to be seen as sus, so we tend to be more vocal. Executioner, I'm going to give it a C. I mean, I think it's a cool role at its basics, and then once you actually hang somebody, you can team with whoever you want. But actually, like, only 1 out of every 9 of those games, I would say, I even win as Executioner. Just because it's a weird role. Because even if you're like, hi, I'm Sheriff, this person's sus, and they don't listen to you, because somehow you have a force of, like, Executioner. No one will get it, but whatever, it's a thing. Forager's pretty trash. Yeah, pretty trash. Framer's pretty trash too. It's not as trash though, because you can actually get people like Sheriff claims hung, and investigators claims hung if you are a Framer, and like, I don't know, like ranked or Brain is dying. Ranked practice. Godfather's pretty cool. I just like being the boss. It really isn't different from Mafioso, just you're kind of immune and get to boss one person around. But that's really it. I really like Guardian Angel. It's easily one of my favorite roles. And I think the reason why I like it so much is because you can confirm yourself really easily. You have a child. I mean, you're already set for the whole game. Unless there's like somebody that's really mean and they're gonna attack you. But that usually doesn't happen. Hexmaster. Hexmaster sucks. I'm gonna give it a C tier. I mean, a lot of people would disagree with me right now, but I think the thing that I like about Hexmaster is they basically become a mafioso after their Necromonicon, and they kind of are like an arsonist. Usually when I'm Hexmaster, I do pretty good. I'm really good at Hexmaster, but it's kind of boring until you get to the part where you kill a lot of people. Hypnotist is pretty cool. I like playing as a hypno. There are people that I can fool. Usually I claim Doctor. I actually say, hey, I healed you, and they're like, thanks, because usually a hypnotist doesn't claim Doctor. So I'm like, oh, I healed you, thank you. And yeah, usually I'm confirmed. Oh, wait. Is that Conquisire? Either way, they're the same. Investigator, Conquisire, both really cool. Get to find out people's roles. Get to be in charge. Get to say a lot of stuff. Jailer is S tier. I say that because it's Jailer. I mean, you kind of own town whenever you're a Jailer. You are the most important role. Janitor, I'm gonna get a B tier. And I know all of you are saying, like, it's known to be the worst role, but it's so useful in ranked practice. It's such an underrated role. because you can clean people, and unless if there's a medium, then you can claim what those cleaned people are and get away with it so easily. Just make sure that there's not a medium claim that's not in your mafia, because then you're probably going to be screwed. Jester is pretty fun. I'm going to give it an A. You get to screw around with Town a lot. It's just kind of fun to laugh at people when you're like, oh, hi, maybe you mess up after the game. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. Either way, I usually have fun with it. Juggernaut, I have a lot of wins as Juggernaut. A lot of wins as Juggernaut for a Town of Salem person. Like, I think I have 3, which to a person that doesn't play toss, let me tell you, 3 is a lot. It's heckin' a lot. Juggernaut is just hard. Let me say this. Hard to get your feet on, because once you have some idea what Juggernaut is, then you basically are set. Lookout. I don't like being a lookout. It's useful, but I don't really like it. Mafioso. Yeah, I like playing as Mafioso. It could be a better role. I mean, if it was a tiny bit better, I would say it was S. Godfather and Mafioso are like the same, honestly. I don't even know the difference much. Actually, I'm going to give a Mafioso B, because the Godfather can control it, and that usually sucks when you're that role. Mayor, I like playing as Mayor. I know I'm putting that out there. Usually I reveal after night 3 as Mayor. I'm not one of those reveal instantly people, because then you're usually dead by night 3 or night 2. My cat just scared the crap out of me. Medium. I don't like medium. Medusa. I don't like playing as Medusa either. I usually like claiming veteran, or what is it? Well, I usually like claiming jailer, medium, because someone will say, what's your role? I say med, and technically it's right. Like, well, I said my role. But no, veteran, jailer, and medium. Necromancer, I love Necromancer. It's my favorite Covenant role. And it's such an underrated role, because it might be like, oh, Coven Leader can kill people. Necromancer can kill people too, but you don't have to be found out. Unless if there's a spy, then you're screwed. But you don't have to be found out. I hate pirate also. I mean, playing as pirate's fine, but like getting pirated, Oh, Plague Barrier. It's my favorite role. It's just like you're like a walking plague and spreading it to everyone. It's super cool, and you get to be mysterious, and once there's like, oh, and once you like give it to everyone, everyone's like, oh shoot, and they start panicking. Poisoner sucks. Least favorite role. Once you poison someone, you're basically found out. That person can get healed, and there could be a doctor, and then you don't do anything, and you die. Potion Master. Easily the most useful Coven role. Potion Master can heal, investigate, and kill. Use yours for the first night 3s, and then usually use that pattern. I usually heal my Coven Leader night 1, or, well, that kind of sucks if your Coven Leader dies night 1. Psychic's pretty cool. I'm going to give that an A tier too. Just because, I mean, it's kind of hard to confirm yourself as Psychic unless if there's a tracker on you. But, like, what I mean by that is you will see them visit nobody and be like, oh, well, you're probably not evil unless you're, like, Necromancer or Arsonist, but that's probably not likely. Retributionist. Useful, but not a bad role. I mean, you bring back Jailer in ranked practice and ranked, and that's basically the only thing you're good for. Serial Killer. I like playing a serial killer. Pretty cool role. Give it an A+. Give it an A. I think the only thing I have with it is that you're pretty lonely and you're against groups of people. And once you get jailed, then you're screwed once again. Sheriff. Sheriff could be better. Though once you find an evil and you hang them, you're basically confirmed, unless if you're like a potion master, which is actually a pretty good claim for it. But I don't like claiming sheriff. Spy. Spy is quite useful. I don't like playing as spy, especially in ranked to ranked practice, because you have a lot of weight on your shoulders and you have to do everything every 2 seconds. And you could be seen as a blackmailer, and yeah. I like Survivor. I think Survivor is a really fun role. I'm going to put an S tier. And I think the reason why I like playing as Survivor is because you get to pick on what teams you play with. All of these roles aren't S tier. Tracker, B, you get to see where people go. Transporter, A, you get to mess with people and what they see. Veteran, C, I mean, you just kind of make people visit you. Vigilante, I'd also give that a C. You show people. Witch, worser than Coven Leader. Still a cool role. I mean, a little bit different. Trapper, half the times your trap don't even kill it, like gets triggered by town. Vampire Hunter is pretty cool. Vampire, I hate Vampire. Werewolf, Werewolf's pretty cool. It's an A tier. There you go, that's my list. There's my speed round for the last one. I hope you guys liked this video. Tell me what you think your tier list would be, and what TOS or Town of Salem, well, gameplay would you like to see? Lovers mode, all any coven, ranked, practice. Just give it a shot. See you later. Bye bye.